Hello my dear students, welcome to CR Digital Classes. Today we are going to discuss about mathematical functions in C language. Okay, the questions which might come across in the exam would be that is describe about the mathematical functions in C. Okay, now when you talk about the mathematical functions is nothing but here function is nothing but here it is a particular, that is a series of activities which are executed by the particular program. It can be, there are two types, that is these are the built-in mathematical function, because for that reason we need to include the header file called hash include math.h. hash include math.h. Now what it is containing? It is containing all the functions which are related to mathematical part, and because it has to be included, we have to include the header file called hash include math.h along with hash include stdio.h. Okay, now C provides all the mathematical functions. That is the reason we have to invoke or we need to include the library, that is math.h. These particular functions perform complex calculations very easily when you have this particular functions in your program. So some of the most commonly used functions are trigonometric functions, logarithmic functions, power and square root calculations. So some of the common functions which are used is square root, power, floor, seal and absolute value. Now when we talk about the mathematical functions, compulsory we are including the math.h as a header file. So square root of x is nothing but where you are giving the square of a particular x value. Power of x is nothing but where you want to find out the power of a particular given value. Floor is nothing but it is rounding to the nearest integer, and seal is nothing but where it is rounding to the nearest integer which is up. Now floor is nothing but down, that is floor is always to the down. So what happens is it is round to the nearest integer to the downwards. When you talk about the seal, it is rounding to the upwards. Okay, so for that reason we say it has rounding to, both are the same, but floor will look at the down value and seal will look at the upper value. Okay, now when you talk about the trigonometric functions, these are the, that is if you want to calculate with the sine value, cosine value and tangent values, you need to take the help of the sine function, cos theta and tan theta. Then again you have to take with the hyperbolic functions also, you can take it. So these are the functions which talk about the hyperbolic versions. When you talk about the sine and cos values, you can take sin x, cos x and tan x. Okay, some of the logarithmic and exponential functions are nothing but your exp is a function which you needed to use. When you talk about the logarithmic, that is it is base to the power of 10, it is log 10. When you talk about the log base e, it's nothing but the exponent value. Okay, these are the functions which you use it. When you are talking about the rounding of the value to the nearest integer, we take the round. When you want to truncate or remove the decimal value, use the trunc. When you want to find out the remainder, we are using the f mod of x comma y. These are the some common functions we will look at with the example. Okay. Now, when you talk about the num, okay, num value is equal to 9.0. What you are doing here, it is percentile after the decimal point two values. So here num of square root of num. So the value here is 9. So here num value is 9. Okay, 2 to the power of 3, it is, you are raising x comma y, it is 2 and 3, and we are finding the logarithmic value of 100. Now we can check it here, that is here square root of 9 is, here it is 3. Okay, now power to the raise is 8 and logarithm base of 10 of 100 is 2. So these are the some of the important functions which are being given. So what is the purpose of this particular math functions are? It is helping the user for easier calculations, and it is reducing the code complexity, it is increasing the accuracy and efficiency in calculation. It is useful for scientific computing, at the same time it is used for the game development. So mathematical functions are most commonly used for that purpose. If you can check it here, the key points which you need to remember with your math functions are, that is compulsory we need to include the header file called math.h, and because math.h always requires a floating point values, because the values do change, so we have to include the compulsory, we have to use the floating values. For that you have to use a percentile f. Then again, when you want to pass the radiant values, you need to use the trigonometric functions for the radians. Okay, so the summary points would be: the basic operations of the math.h would be square root, power and absolute value. The trigonometric functions will be sine value, cos value and tan value. When you talk about the logarithmic and exponential value, it is log of x, log of 10 and exp. So when you talk about the rounding and the modulus, it is seal, floor, round and f mod. These are the different types of mathematical functions. There are only few which are being listed right now, which might be useful for you, but there are n number of other functions which are also included in the math.h. So please like and subscribe with the CR Digital classes. Thank you.